second quarter made it challenging for both teams, but can you talk about the influence of that?
Yeah, well, let me start with this. I thought we had a fast start and we scored some points early before the rain. That was huge. But it got a little ugly there. And, in that sense, it's just you're trying to play a possession game, trying to play a field possession. As far as placement on the field, you want to, and the wind played a factor. I think the wind was swirling there when it came in. Obviously, as I said to the players afterwards, it's a win. In college football, it's a win. And we've got a lot to shore up, though, and we've got to be able to, block out some of those things. I thought we had too many 3-and-outs there when it really mattered. But I thought our defense really played well again, as they have all year. But we've got to, in the situations like that, when it's wet and sloppy, we've just got to not worry about the extra yards and just get down, get back into the huddle, and go again.
How big was it to get a lead before the rain came?
Huge. We talked about that actually in pregame, that we needed to get out in front, knowing that all of a sudden, if that rain comes in, it just becomes sloppy turnovers. You saw a botch snap on a punt. They downed it because it was a botch snap on a punt. So we talked about that early on, and it worked out in our favor. And I'll tell you, I think we left some points out there early on.
Your kicker was a huge factor in today's game, especially in the first half. In this rain, how big was that for you guys?
Huge. First of all, he kicked 3 out of the end zone to start the game. As far as those first 3 possessions, which is huge. And then he had a couple big ones down there, and then to kick one into the wind, that 3 points before half was significant.
The effort in the second was just kind of trying to contain the ball, hold on to the ball, but you continued to move forward and score and then capitalize on their errors as well.
Absolutely. And again, we said to our running backs, look, you're breaking in the free, just get the other hand on the ball. They're going to be pulling at it and things like that. I mean, that ball was slick. And, I think in the drive where we had 2 holding calls back-to-back was a was a couple big calls. And, because I think we made enough yards 3 different times to get a first down, but with 2 holding calls, we had to punt it away, and that was when we bobbled the snap and gave them that, that second touchdown to make it 14 for them.
Even though you're ahead at that time, pretty well ahead, is that a more morale kind of thing that you kind of have to deal with?
Yeah, and you know what? I don't think we ever feel comfortable until it's over. And that's one of the things I've learned is that these teams in the MIAA and the teams that we've played, they have the ability to score quickly. And, so you never really feel comfortable until, obviously, the clock goes to 0. Again, I felt like our guys hung in there. It's a win, and we're going to take it, and we're going to get out of here.
Can you talk about Braden's effort tonight? Over 200 yards.
He's a horse.
He's over 2,000 for his career.
He's a horse. Brandon has been outstanding, for us. And again, now when you have Chris Lee in there, you also have a 1-2 punch that's pretty good, like we had with Brandon and Mike. But I also think you asked Brandon, he would give the credit to the offensive line. There were a couple nice holes, but boy, he has great patience, great field vision. I think his biggest strength is when he's going downhill, shoulder pads square to the line of scrimmage. That's when he's at his best.
It seems like he's got some extra speed after he breaks about 3 yards from being touched, and then it really kind of kicks in the second gear.
It's hard to imagine that a guy that big and strong is that fast.
Yeah.
I mean, when he has another gear in the second level, and if you're a defensive back, you don't really want to hit him when he's going that fast.
Can you talk about Chris's touchdown and the, his first reception for you guys, which is a touchdown, kind of a neat.
Well, first of all, I think it was a great call, great setup by Coach Hawk and the offensive staff, and and we've been working on that because we're a run-dominated team, and when you have that H-back that was able to slide out into the open, I was just hoping he caught it because the rain was raining sideways, the wind was blowing in his face, and it kind of hung up there a little bit. And Mason doesn't always throw with the strings, and so with a wet ball, it makes it challenging sometimes to throw the ball on a spiral.
Cool.
Thanks, Coach.